The numbers just don't support the rhetoric. France currently processes about 80,000 more asylum applications a year than we do. So what does that mean when we turn around and say France must do more? The perception, and I try to be generous because I know not everybody is just a sort of hate-filled bigot. I do know that. I do know it's perfectly normal to look at the pictures and feel frightened or feel alarmed. And especially then if someone comes and whispers in your ear that they'll all be staying at the Ritz by tea time and they get loads of money and we've got homeless soldiers on our streets, but we're helping these people who fled from the countries where our soldiers were sent to kill. I know that doesn't make you a hateful bigot, but the argument that we do more than our share seems to me to be the most dangerous one of all. We do considerably less than our share. We processed 80,000 fewer applications than France in 2019. 80,000. It must drive you potty when I do this if you are a hateful bigot, but I've got the numbers. And I mean, that is the record. That is the matter of record. We don't even do what Greece does. And economically speaking, Greece is on a much less firm footing than we are. We do less, considerably less than Spain even. Germany, 165,615. These are just the applications that are processed. So the figures on what is accepted and what is rejected will provide a slightly different perspective, but not different enough to really even dent this simple comparison. France processed 128,940. We processed 44,835. So if I give you the benefit of the doubt and say when you have the facts, you'll stop feeling so furious, okay? And I apologise to people who aren't feeling furious, but who, like me, are trying to do their Christian duty by these souls. When I give you that fact there, France processed 80,000 more applications than us last year, then surely the idea that they're passing the problem on to us falls apart in your hands, doesn't it? Surely the idea that we are the soft touch falls apart in your hands. 165,615 applications in 2019. And you'll remember at the beginning of the Syrian crisis, Angela Merkel took in 1 million refugees. A decision that will go down in history as one of the finest humanitarian acts by any politician ever, anywhere in the world. It also, I think, contributed to Brexit, bizarrely. The number of people who have not apologised, who have not even confessed, explained to me that looking back they realised that their vote for Brexit was informed by, do you remember all the hoo-ha about the sex attacks, so-called sex attacks in Cologne? The way that was very cleverly and deliberately knitted together to make you think that if you stayed in the European Union, then loads of Muslim sex offenders would make their way here from Germany and molest you or yours. And again, you know, it doesn't make you a bad person to respond to a threat like that, but when's the last time you worried about it? Because we've been in the European Union ever since. Funny, isn't it? 165,615 applications, even after taking in 1 million people. We don't even hit the 45,000 mark, but you're being told that we do more than they do. And the thing that is really tragic, if you're trying to be kind and generous to these people, or hilarious if you're laughing at the men who conned you, and women, is that at the end of this year it gets worse. At the end of this year it gets harder to deport people from the United Kingdom if their asylum applications are rejected. And when the Daily Mail has this line, remember, take back control our borders. The Daily Mail's op-ed this morning. So I've given you a bit from the Daily Mail in 1938 about the German Jews. And it's a very different newspaper now, still owned by the same family, but not the same person. France must do more to end migrant crisis. Now, I struggle to find the words to describe that level of irony. So you voted for it because you were told that you would take back control. You voted for it because you wanted to control our borders. You voted for it because you cared more about scare stories in the newspapers or Farage's fetishes than you did about your Christian duty or the values that this country is built upon. You voted for it for all those reasons. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and say that your fears were sincerely held, even if built on false foundations. And the idea was that by voting to leave the European Union, we would, quote, take back control. And now the newspaper, which under a previous editor did more to deliver Brexit than anyone or anything in this country, is insisting that France must do more to end migrant crisis. So do you feel that you should have been told in 2016 that voting to leave the European Union would give control of our borders on the issue of asylum seekers in dinghies? Do you feel you should have been told that you would be giving control of our borders to France?